Going live. And we are live. 2 and 3. All right. Welcome to our Thursday Cosmic Conversation. Let me try that again. Conversations with moi, Stacy Harder, and my mother, Dr. Heather Harder, and our amazing soul tribe and family. So if this is your first time joining us, welcome. We meet every Thursday, 4 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Mountain, 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern, and it is a place where we gather and kind of have a little guided stuff that Mom will talk about, and then we go into a lot of questions and open conversation, and we talk about kind of anything and everything. What's up, Miss Maper? Ow, that hurt. My dragon ring got caught in my hair, and I just like ripped a bunch of hair. Sorry about that. Mom, would you like to take over?
Thank you. And for those who are new, we have a 3-part evening. Part 1 is asking for what we want, which we'll go into a second. Second part is then, so we sort of play with the light, and then we go and have a conversation about whatever's relevant. The goal of our Thursday nights is to give you confidence and courage to face your week, to face this transformational time, to be able to discern what is truth and what is not truth. We are being bombarded with so much information that doesn't serve us. And so by being really confident and discerning, you'll know what is truth and you'll know what isn't truth. So first, ask for what you want. And so you can ask for anything. I suggest and model protection, guidance, and truth. When you ask for protection, then literally you're putting a light umbrella around you. So the only things that can happen to you or through you is that which serves your greatest good. And then everything else is sort of kept at bay. It doesn't mean that icky things can happen, because lots of icky things serve you. But it's important to keep away, sort of thinking in terms of keeping away the little irritations, the mosquitoes of life. And so when you ask for protection, you keep away everything that doesn't serve you. The guidance is sort of like if you get in your car and you plug in your GPS system so that you go exactly where you want to go. And that's sort of what happens when you ask for protection or guidance. The guidance will take you where you need to go, even if you don't know how to name the destination. It takes you to your divinely perfect place. We are walking a very, very crooked road right now that I don't think any of us can fully anticipate. We just trust when we step out in faith that we are guided to wherever we need to be for whatever greatest good there is. We're here not for our own journey, but we're here to support the planet in her journey of transformation, moving from a 3rd dimensional reality to a 5th dimensional reality, and really becoming very mindful of what that means in our own life as we shift. And the third, and I think probably most important, is to ask to know truth. As I said, we're being bombarded with so much information from so many different sources. Some serves us, some doesn't. Some helps us, some doesn't. So when you ask to discern truth, that which is truth for you may be different than truth for someone else, because your paths are not the same. So when you ask to know truth and really trust that inner knowing, you will get the information you need for your greatest good. So in your own way, you can say it, you can see it, you can think it, you can feel it, you can just affirm it in any way that feels normal to you. Ask for protection, guidance, and truth. And if there's anything else you want, you're welcome to throw that in. The universe will give you what you ask for. It will support you in your intentions. And so it's just a good habit to get into. So that's the first part of our evening. The second part is the light work. Light is an energy form. It is the most powerful energy form that exists in all the universe. Light, love, God all carry the same frequency. So as we play with the light, we're literally empowering ourselves to a higher state. And then we're also transforming the world around us to a higher state. Vibrationally, if you think about this is where you are and this is where your ultimate maximum greatness resides, your journey is to go from here to here. And every time you're playing in the light, you're bringing your vibration up and you're sharing that with the world. And so getting in the habit of playing in the light is very important. And I was given an exercise now almost 30 years ago that serves the planet. And so I do that, expand it, and add a bunch of things to it based on what the week's been like. You're always welcome to add, change, alter anything that you're doing so that it has a greater capacity in your world. You can add your friends, your family, your house, your property. You can add your pets. You can add your car. You can add anyone and anything to this grand journey. And right now, the earth is rumbling in all kinds of interesting ways. And so we certainly want to bathe the earth in this light and love. Again, there's no wrong way of doing it. I do it the way that I have been shown to do it. And so we start by moving into our center. Our center is that point of connection that we have with the universe. And so being very connected to our own source is extremely important. So if you will, imagine yourself going to center and what that looks like. And I close my eyes, not because it's magical or it needs to be closed. It's just that I block out all the world around me. Normally, I'm at home and I don't see the world around me, but I'm now visiting Stacy and I'm seeing all of her beautiful world around me, which is very distracting. And it's also 4 o'clock instead of 6 o'clock. So it's lots of different changes. So I just close my eyes in order to stay focused with the here and now. So if you will, just imagine yourself going to center. It's an intention. It can look like something or it can look like nothing. Doesn't change it. I like beaches, so I imagine it looking like a beach and just being in that incredible fluid energy. And then imagine that there is a pillar of light, and you just step into this pillar of light. Just feel your body begin to assimilate this beautiful, radiant energy. Just feel how it feels as this energy is coming in from the universe to you, through you, and into the earth. You volunteered to be the anchor for heaven to earth. And that's what we're doing, is we're anchoring the heavenly energies to this earthly experience. So just let the energy flow through you, to you, into the earth. Just take a deep breath and relax any resistance, relax any tension, any stress. If you've had a challenging day, just imagine letting the energy being washed away, like water off a duck's back. Just let it roll away and feel a total peace, total serenity. Then we're going to send light and love into the earth, filling every cell in, on, and around this planet with love. Along with our gratitude for all that she does for us, for all the abuse that she takes on our behalf. Fill every void, fill every molecule, fill every animal, plant, mineral with your love and light, with our love and light. Just imagine with your heart energy, just filling the earth with your love. And then send love and light out into the atmosphere. The atmosphere is that covering around the planet. It is much like the skin of our body. It is a protective covering for the earth. It's very important for her health. And our job is just to send our love to it and through it, creating a blanket of love for this earth, expanding and sharing this love energy. And on this planet, there are a lot of beings who choose to interfere, to corrupt, destroy the Earth's well-being and her balance. So they're mucking with the atmosphere, they're mucking with the Earth. They're doing all kinds of things that may serve them, but does not serve the planet. So we want to love these people. We just want to surround them with love and light, so they become aware of the impact they're having on this planet. Some know it and act intentionally. Some don't know it and act unconsciously. We just want to love them all. And then we send love and light out into the weather patterns. The weather patterns are very important to the Earth's balance and stability. And all the Earth changes that we're experiencing, the earthquakes, the tornadoes, the storms, the floods, the fires, all of those things that impact this Earth are her attempts at balancing herself. We want to just love them. So when you see a fire or a storm or hear of an earthquake, just imagine filling it with love and light. It's the Earth shaking up the density of her existence. And then, of course, we have those who are using them for their own benefit. They're using these storms and weather patterns for greed and manipulation. You know, we're having the weather wars. Just love those who would manipulate the Earth and her resources. And then we have the mass consciousness, which is the collective consciousness of all beings who've ever been on this planet and who are on this planet now. We think of time as being very linear. It is not. But that collective consciousness impacts humanity and the planet. It is a major influence of humanity's actions and thoughts and behaviors. And we want to just fill it full of love. Just imagine. I like to think of it as like a fog that permeates everything on this planet. It is how we're connected. As we raise that consciousness to one of unity and oneness and respect and appreciation for all other beings, we're literally moving this planet into fifth dimension, which is oneness. When we accept all others and all of their differences with love, we're literally shifting the planet from a 3D world of separation and individuality to a 5D planet of oneness. And it's so very important. When someone angers you, love them. When someone upsets you, love them. When someone takes advantage of you, love them. The more you can automatically move into this love energy, the greater the help you are to this planet and her transformation. When someone injures you, love them. When someone judges you, love them. When someone helps you, love them. When someone shows you the way, love them. When someone tries to trick or fool or deceive you, love them. When you watch the news and recognize that much of the news is there to distract you and move you into a fear energy, love the newsmakers. Love those who are broadcasting. Imagine those little vibrations coming from your TV or radio or internet or whatever, being surrounded with the power of your love. So they go out, and everyone and everything they touch is surrounded with unconditional love. That's your job as a light worker. The more you stay in this energy, the more you are able to serve this planet. Do not judge another person's path. Do not judge another person's actions. Love them. Doesn't mean you allow others to harm you. You can get out of their way. But as you step aside, love them. And then imagine all the people on the planet who are in pain and suffering and fear and judgment, and just love them. Give permission to the angels to use this love to serve the planet in any way, any form, anyhow. Imagine the multitudes that are on this planet to help, and even more the multitudes that are outside this planet and are helping. Just love them all. Our little mind cannot understand or comprehend the levels of the challenges this planet is now facing. We are involved in the greatest skirmish that's ever been on this planet. And the more we can love it, the more we neutralize it. We don't need to fight, because that which you fight is empowered. We don't need to resist, because that which you resist is empowered. We need to love it. And imagine sending love into our Congress and all the elected officials that are here to serve us at the federal level, at the state level, at the city level. Imagine all the people who work for our government, and some who are diligent and well-meaning, and others not so much. Love them all. Imagine all the countries all over the planet who are also in this struggle. Love them. The greater their influence, the more important your love for them is. Love all the people who have money beyond our comprehension, who are using it to make a major influence on this planet. Imagine filling every dollar, every penny, every bit of their money with love and light, so that whatever they do with it, it goes out with love and light. Forbes, all-time richest people, love them and love their money. All those who are trying to manipulate and dominate and crucify in one form or another, love them. And all these beings on this planet who are recruiting, who are going against divine plan, love them. And then imagine that you have a beautiful golden cell phone. The cell phone is yours and only yours. It cannot be altered or traced. It's just yours. And it takes you directly to the divine oneness. And that at your demand, on your command, all you need to do is pick up your cell phone and listen, and you will hear the oneness, the divine spiritual oneness of all creation talk to you. Ask questions and you'll hear the answer. You're always connected, but you've forgotten sometimes how to hear. Well, this cell phone is going to be speeding up the process. Your cosmic connection with the wisdom of the ages. Just feel how it feels in your hand. The energy that comes from it, the wisdom. You have access to anything and everything you need whenever you want it. Imagine this cell phone sending through incredible energy that goes to you and through you. The highest vibration that you can imagine, flowing through every atom of your physical, every particle of your spiritual, your etheric, your intellectual capacities. Just feel it being infused with this very high energy. Ask it, for indeed you have to ask to restore your DNA to its original divine form. Time and experience have distorted, have taken you away from knowing who you are and what you're capable of. But with your cosmic connection, just open it up, tell it what you want, and then be open to let this energy go through your body. Feel how you are transformed. Nothing and no one can alter you without your permission. But there's so many ways that you can give permission without even realizing it. So command the universe, command your helpers, not only to restore you to your divine perfection, but to block anyone and everyone who would try to alter you in any way, who would attempt to make you less than you can be, who would attempt to affect your consciousness so that you do not see your greatness, you do not feel your greatness. Instead, to recognize all that you are in all situations and to fully activate your abilities, your powers, your knowledge. Now I'd like you to take your cosmic connection, this wonderful special cell phone from the universe, and I want you to ask a question in your consciousness, and then I want you to listen to the response that you receive. You may feel it, you may hear it, you will know it. once you get your response, ask the universe what you can do in order to better serve this planet. And as individually as well as collectively. And then look at your cell phone, look at your cosmic connector, and really admire its beauty. Look at the color, the texture, the size. Really appreciate its finery. And you can feel the gratitude for it. It'll become that much more empowered for you. When you're ready, come back to the here and now. Thanking our heavenly helpers for all that they do to serve this planet and each country individually and the world collectively. In all things, we are grateful. So be it. When you're ready, just come back to the here and now, bringing this elevated energy with you. And the longer you can keep this energy, the longer you keep the energy, the more empowered you are. And this, at this moment in time, is as high an energy as you can handle on this planet. Recognize how you feel. Recognize the peace that's swirling within you. Recognize the calmness. When you get out of the energy, you'll get, into the chaos, the crazies, the whatever. Just bring yourself back to this moment in time. Just capture this energy. Imagine putting it in a little box. And when you're ready, just open the little box and let it wash all over you. But this energy is a choice. And the more you choose it, the more empowered you are, the more your skills are enhanced, the more your ability is enhanced, the more your knowings are enhanced. It's a choice. It's a choice. So this takes us now into part 3, which is our little conversation. And we'll start with Stacy to see if there's anybody online that said anything. We're also broadcasting through YouTube. If you want to listen to this again, if you want to experience this again, they're always posted on Stacy's YouTube channel, which is Stacy Harder. And you can share it with a friend, or you can listen again and again and again and again. Or you can, she also prints it on Instagram. So Instagram, Facebook wouldn't let us do it. Instagram and YouTube. So with that, is there anybody out there in the ethers?
I'm waiting on questions, but it is pretty cool that we have Mexico and Costa Rica and Venezuela and obviously the US and Canada and Australia on with us through.
Wow. So we have even though it's a small group, it's having a worldwide influence. So we just see that maximizing. Okay. So no questions from the outer world yet. Anybody have any on the inner world? Anybody have any questions or comments or reactions?
This is Mom's dog.
Otherwise, yeah, they travel with me to California, so they're world travelers now.
I can say that I really needed to be here tonight with all you ladies. I've just been so tense and aggravated, and like I don't know, I want to swear at every car driving by me, and so it's like, yeah, I really needed to be here.
Well, turn your swears into a God loves you. God loves you. Or as the Southern people say, bless your heart. So you can still have that intensity, just make the words a bit more loving.
Okay.
Jen, I'm
And
glad you're saying that because I also have been the same way. This week has probably been one of the most intense emotional weeks I've had in a long time.
I can agree.
I saw your face while I was talking. I'm like, she gets it.
Yeah.
Somewhat, Claudia asked, how can you give us some tips on keeping our vibration high? And Claudia is coming from Costa Rica.
Well, I think, again, what we've been doing, setting the intention, set your intention to keep your energy high. Be very mindful of what you're doing that brings it down. We heard Jennifer comment about cars and driving. If that's a place that causes you to move into your crazy place, then before you get in your car, bless it, fill it with love. Put a rose quartz under your seat. Um, Whatever it is that will help you remember to keep the energy high. And then just when you feel yourself being high, be grateful. Gratitude is one of the most powerful things you can do. When you feel yourself start to slip, just go, oh, no, 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 no. We're going to love it. And then, again, whatever imagery works for you. I would see it like, okay, what comes to mind is a can of whipped cream, and just because it's fun, and just filling up a glass with that spray whipped cream, and just see it fill up, and just let that energetically take you to a higher place. Your mind is the powerful creator force. So if you can think it, if you can imagine it, it has to happen. So just imagine it. Don't let yourself be taken in by all the fear mongering that's going on around us. I mean, I'm being exposed to more of the world than when I'm in my little world. At home, I have created my energetic cocoon where it's wonderful, and then I get out in the world. It's like, ooh, this is how the other people live. Ooh, so just don't let it take you. Um, just love it. I was invited to do workshops in Bali, which was an amazing experience. I hope to go back there soon. But in Bali, it's a very interesting world. And there's so many things they're doing. And I was there in the mid 90s, and I would say they were the place that we're going to. But when they have dramas and stuff, and good, and it's always dance and the hands and all this kind of things, but good battles, bad if we labeled it such. But in the end, they don't conquer. They end up working and living in harmony, so that good and evil, as we would label it, emerge and become at one. And it's like, that is so profound. And so if you think in terms of, sending love to those who might wish you harm, or who are corrupted, like we see many politicians with their corrupted actions and having an impact, it's not about conquering them. It's not about doing away with them. Hitler wanted to purify the earth by getting rid of all those nasty Jews and those horrible homosexuals, and all the people that he didn't approve of. He really saw himself as cleaning up the earth. And so that was his mindset. If I get rid of them, the world's a better place. And obviously we know that was not the truth. The same thing with us. If we think we can get rid of all the evil people, we're not making any difference. It's about learning to live in harmony with them. Again, in Bali, they have special holidays just for all the mean spirits, all the bad spirits, and they have little temples outside towns. So on these days for the bad spirits, they make horrible music and they fix terrible food and they do all kinds of stinky things because bad spirits like stinky things. And then they will march them down and put them in their temple outside town because they know they exist. They just don't want to interact with them. And again, there's just so many things that they do that's profound. It's profound. And so as we move into a whole nother way of living, we have to find a way that we can coexist with love with those who are different than us. And, let's face it, a lot of people who are, lining their pockets are different from us. And so our job is to love them, not to try and murder them. Justice is not ours. Justice will happen at a different level, whether it's on the earth plane and they go to jail for their crimes, which should be fine, or whether it's in another world and they get held accountable for their actions. We don't need to worry about the punishment and the doing them in, and we just ask that justice be served on the planet. That thy will be done. And if we can be in that energy of asking that thy will be done instead of our own personal agenda, then it will, and we don't have to worry about our energy because it'll normally and naturally be high. And then with the thoughts comes, what are you putting in your body? What are you eating? What are you doing? What actions are you taking? The toxic thoughts is as detrimental as the toxic food or the toxic drink. If you're smoking, or if you are drinking alcohol, if you are partaking in any addiction. Recently, I've come across a whole lot of young people who are doing not the cigarettes. What do they do with the little things? What's it called?
Vaping.
Vaping. I mean, my God, they're on these constantly. And it's like they can't function without that vapor, and that is even more toxic than cigarettes. So just make sure you're not addicted to anything, that you are not, whether it's your phone, you've got to be doing this all the time or whatever. If there's something you have to do, then that's an addiction. You should be able to be open to whatever you're guided to do, and you feel like doing it whenever you're guided to do it. So that's my suggestion for maintaining a higher energy. And then again, back of my book, many were called singing, praying, meditating, dancing, anything that involves the creation, the individuality of the creative experience, painting, all those things put you in the flow, build your energy, and are very much a divine process. Have fun. How often are you laughing? How often are you singing? Those are all things that will zip your energy up in a very positive way. And so much of us, we have taken life so seriously, and we're just doing got to get this done, got to beat the clock, and that will take your energy down. So
I think going with that too, and I think it's obviously a perfect example. We're in the human experience. How come my screen's not showing me? Because usually
your assurance is what?
Usually whoever's talking in the screen, there she goes. The screen pops up. I was just saying that I think right now, at least for me and the people I think in my life, there's a lot of stuff being turned up, shaken up, visible, facing, whatnot. And so I think also we're here to help collectively clear that. And so I think it is important to be able to feel it, witness it, but let it pass through you, not hold on to it, not own it, but process through that. And to see it, because if you have parts that you've been hiding or you haven't seen, like, now's the time, because as we're moving forward, it's going to be 100% authentic everything, and so you can't hide from anything, right?
Right. And we're also practicing for the next step. You know, what you're going through now is sort of your boot camp. But after boot camp, you have extended skills that you have to develop, like Green Berets or Navy SEALs. They go through an extended boot camp. We're learning how to handle things so we can learn how to handle bigger things and then bigger things and then bigger things. So when you have this stuff dumped on you, don't think in terms of, oh my goodness, poor me, this is awful. And we often go into that victimhood. Look what he's saying to me. Oh my gosh, I'm so terrible. He's so mean. But rather go, oh, I get an opportunity of handling this. And then when you handle this, then the next one is going to be even bigger and more personal. They're going to know how to attack you more until you can react. You don't have to react to anything. You just experience it and move on. That's what we're in the preparation for. And the more you can go to the Southern mantra, bless your heart, and just not take it in. And in fact, my cousin died, and I drove down to Tennessee to attend her funeral. And every time someone said, bless her heart, I wanted to go, yes, yes. And now I've started watching on YouTube. There is a channel that's called the Southern Way or something or other, and it's all hysterical, and it's so true that it really is what they do for everything. Bless their heart, just bless their heart, and so make it your own mantra, or God loves you, or everything is divinely perfect, or get your own go-to statement. So when you're triggered, you have something that you move to immediately. It can be done. It can be done. And I have to say, I mean, it's been a few years since I've been down there, but I was shocked at how everybody just stays in this very pleasant space, blessing everybody's heart. They're really not taking everything as seriously or as personally as we do up in the north, the Chicago area. So I'm going to look up the actual name of that channel. It's hysterical.
They said their condolences and great advice and a yes.
Let's see.
Oh, and we have a friend from Chicago. That's for, I grew up in Chicago.
Chicago area. You didn't grow up in Chicago.
I said Chicago land. I said okay. Technically Indiana. Thank you.
Okay. I'm trying to find the. There's a circle, why aren't there horror movies in the South? Or why aren't there Southern people in horror movies? And I mean, you just listen and go, oh gosh, that's so funny and so true. I'm trying to find it. Oh well. Let's go on, Stace.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, I think that right now we're being asked to go through extra emotions, extra situations, and like you said, it is probably getting us ready for the next level. But it's learning how to move through it
with love. With love. It's not just going through it, it's going through it and staying in that energy of love.
Yes, and not judging it, not attaching to it,
not taking it personally.
But but be in peace and know that, learning, but I'm glad you mentioned that, Jen, because it's legit right now.
A lot of it has to do too with people of lesser lights putting half of the pieces together and still not connecting all the dots, and it's aggravating me. Oh, but they're awakening to certain things, which is good. And I guess I just want to see it all connected.
Well, keep in mind that free will says everybody gets to do it on their own time in their own way. And so don't judge it, just recognize we can do what we can do to help inform and inspire, but we shouldn't control and manipulate because that makes us as detrimental as anyone else who's trying to control and manipulate.
Yeah, I'm not controlling, I'm manipulating it, so I'm just kind of sitting back. I might say a tiny something, and then I just surrender it, and that's it.
And if something is I for me it's on my energy, it's like feeling a sticky substance, so I need to clear it off. When I feel that, it's like, okay, I gotta clear it off. So whether I do it in a physical shower and just imagine washing it off, or I just stop and take a breath and imagine just getting rid of the sticky. But as you begin more to become more aware of your own energies, you will feel the impact of those things on you.
Mm.
So that's very important. Again, taking command of your own status.
One of the things too, I think with that is as we're getting more energetically powerful, those feelings make you toxic inside and make you sick if you don't allow them to follow through and process. Because I know for me, like the stress, if I don't process it or if I have anger, like my body starts showing me stuff right away. And it's like, oh, I feel that. Okay. And then so as soon as I'm starting to feel like this, I'm like, okay, I know that's anger. I gotta let that go. Like your throat, for example, like holding back angry words is very common. So being able to just start expressing that is very powerful to release that sore throats. But yeah. So, and by the way, there's a comment for you, Jen, that when you were speaking about how some people are learning bits and pieces and haven't connected the dots yet, that you may be the missing link, love.
I think that's true for all of us. We're all being that glue that holds the groups together. The site, the YouTube channel is called "It's a Southern Thing." It's a Southern thing, and there's even one about, bless your heart, about a Southerner learns how to speak English. Uh, it anyway, it's real cute. There's all kinds of skits on "It's a Southern Thing," and from my experience, it's very accurate and fun. I like things that make you laugh. The other channel that I would recommend that makes you laugh is JP Sears. Um, his is called what, JP Awake or something, but he does commentary on current events, and it's just funny.
Your sense of humor is a lot like my daughter's. It's funny because I can't take to that guy, but my daughter would love him.
Well, then that's where you need to play until you can. It's Awaken with JP, and he's got real long red hair, and he has like people that wear masks in their cars, and he talks about trying to maintain a 6 foot distance from himself in the car and so on. So anyway,
The favorite that I identify as a pilot.
you what?
Your favorite one where he identifies as a pilot.
Oh, he was talking about flying recently on Delta Airlines, and he was, what a bias things are. That first of all, they were very restrictive because they made him show his ID, and then they wouldn't let him fly the plane, even though he clearly identified as the pilot. So it's a whole it's a whole thing on it. It's 3, 4, 5 minutes, and they're not very long. But it's like, how in the world does the mind think of those things? But it's very applicable. And he just did a one on how to help find a new job for Governor Newsom out of California. He's got all these skills that he could take beautiful land and turn them into homeless camps, and so he can transform any environment. And it was just funny. But if you need a laugh, and it's, again, all spoken, in my opinion, in truth, but it gives you a kind of a chuckle in the process too. So
Yeah.
It's a Southern thing, and Awaken with JP. Any other?
Instagram.
You what?
Claudia says his Instagram name is Awakening with JP.
Yeah, that's the YouTube channel as well. Awaken with JP.
I like the way he just very loving about these really hot topics that are just
Yeah, it's never angry, it's never intense, it's just sort of in the flow and humorous. And laughing is really, really, really powerful for your energy, so laugh.
Yeah.
And it's going to become more intense. Laughter breaks up the energy. And so it makes it easier to move through. So whether these channels or get together with friends who make you laugh, or you start being the one that makes others laugh, just recognize that it breaks up the energy really well.
Someone asked a question about, they heard recently about two suns, like not the moon, but the sun. Do you know anything about that?
I've heard it. I've seen it. I don't understand it. And I haven't, so I couldn't give a spiritual explanation for it. But I'm sure if you Google, anybody else have any information?
Well, if they're making that second Earth, would they be making the sun for that Earth too?
They're not making the Earth. The Earth's been in it. That the second
Planet.
The planet that it has will continue giving people the same lessons that Earth does, was created at least 30 years ago, because that's when I was talked about it and told about it. And it was in existence then. So people have already been incarnating on it. But this planet will move on. So I'm not knowledgeable enough to talk about it.
Do you feel like we're headed in that direction? Are we going to be plucked?
Are we going to be plucked? That isn't what that sounded like. I'm thinking, whoa, Jennifer. So plucked with the P is what she said, in case you had trouble hearing it. She wanted to know if we were going to be plucked. I don't think it's been decided yet. We're still playing on it. But because remember, there'll be warnings. I think we're getting warnings now, but not for the plucking. I think we're getting warnings for the shakeups.
Well, and those of us that haven't been on the call and been a part of that conversation before, I would also pause. And I think the plucking you're referring to is what Mom has talked about within the Bible, as well as what you were told spiritually, that basically people from around the world would just kind of disappear all over, same kind of stories. And then do you want to explain it going into the alien?
Well, again, it's not a quick story. That the Earth is going to transform into a fifth dimensional consciousness. It will happen. How it happens is what we're here to determine. So far, I think we're doing an okay job. And if we call them the lesser lights, some of us let our light shine, and lesser lights keep their light diminished. But we're all made from the same source. Everything is of God. Do you have my book, Exploring there? No, I want Exploring.
Yes. But this one's good too. Dimensions and the Awakening of Divine Consciousness. Understanding the
Not for what I wanted to share. Not for what I wanted to share.
I wanted to share it. So
only
share what
can you deliver that to me?
This is Exploring Life's Last Frontier, the world of death, dying, and letting go.
Can you deliver that book to me?
deliberate.
I want that book.
So I'm
I
going to
wanna-
go the other
I
route.
want to read a passage because when you get information from spirit, there's no way you can paraphrase it. It's just too pretty to try and alter. Thank you, Stacy. And so I want to share this. Thank you very much. And recognizing that everything on the planet has been made by the same source, same creator. And so this was, I am the presence. And I even feel the energy, it's very profound. So just listen. I am the presence. I am with time and without it. A few find me, but many do not. I live where no man has seen. My house is beyond the forest of time. I can be glimpsed, but not understood. I am the enigma throughout time. Many claim to know me, but do not. They are like the grains of sand compared to a mountain. I exist in the dimensions outside of time and space. They are but simplifications for me. I am the creation and the created. There is no beginning nor past. I am the presence. You dwell within me, but know it not. You may seek me within, for you will not find me without. No outside path leads through the forest. The streams may be forged only from the banks of the mind. I am the presence. Seek me if you must. Do not worry if you don't. You will find me when you must. All things are in balance. Creation is creating. I am the flash of light, the gentle wind, the darkest depths, the terror of the night. I can be found anywhere. No place is safe. Evil cannot hide. I see all. I travel through time and without it. I am the presence. I am neither good nor evil. I am all. My justice is unique. It is not arbitrary, but finely tuned. Some do not like it, but it is fair. They complain, but know not the laws nor from whence they came. Sit quietly in the night, and you will hear me. Demand, and you will not understand. Go quietly through the world and enjoy your time on it. Do not be misdirected by those who claim to know me. Know yourself, and in doing so, you will know me, for I am always with you. The veil is opaque but thinning. The dimensions shift through time and are not understood. There should be no worry now. The changes are simple. In time, you will understand. I am the presence. That is a great intro into the conversation, because if we think about the people who are going against the divine are still part of the divine. All of us are part of the same source. And so in getting angry at someone who's deceiving or lying to us is like getting angry at your toe because it hurts. You know, our job is just to love. And in that loving, we transform. That is the easiest and simplest way to transform the planet. We just love it into its higher state. We love each other into their perfected state. All is well. But if we don't do it the easy way, then there's already sort of a backup plan, a plan B. The Bible talked about it, and that process, you know, if we get to the point where the earth cannot be salvaged by just our intention, then there'll be a warning. And a warning is that the Bible talks about that in the twinkling of an eye, people will disappear. All around the planet, there'll be people who just disappear. They're there, you blink, they're gone. And you go, what happened to, you know, you're sitting having dinner and somebody disappears. All around the planet, all stratas of life, they're gone. They'll be gone for a period of time, whether it's minutes or hours or days or weeks. Time is not consistent off the planet. It cannot be predicted how long they'll be gone, but they'll be gone for a period of time, and then they'll reappear. And when they reappear, they're all wearing the same off-planet clothes. They're all telling the same story. All languages all around the planet in the same instant. They come back with evidence of their story, and they're all telling the same story. We got to straighten up our act. Think of Nineveh when they sent, was it Joshua, who was eaten by the whale and had to deliver a message to I think it was Nineveh, to change their ways. Well, it's sort of the planet. Change your ways, or we're going to be in a big doo doo. And so, if we change our ways at that point, when we have our warning, then yay. If we don't change our ways when we get the warning, and that will be a period of time before all shit hits the fan, then the next step is literally a mass evacuation of the planet, and either partial or total cleansing. Energetically, humanity will be lifted off. The skies will be filled with UFOs, and it's the beam me up Scotty. Everybody who can be removed will be removed. It's a vibrational thing. If you move into fear, the energy is so condensed you can't be removed. If you move into love and ooh, this is it, then you'll be removed and you'll have another experience on ship. And the way it happens for me is I'm taken on tours of these things and then left to describe it, which is not always an easy thing for me. But I've been taken aboard these motherships. The things we see in the air are the little crafts. They're the little commuter planes and stuff. But if you can imagine the motherships being 10 to 20 miles wide, and they have layers and layers of decks, and each one is like an environment. If you can imagine being on, an island that's 20 miles wide, it wouldn't feel very small. It wouldn't feel condensed. It's not like you're enclosed. It's really like different worlds, but each layer, and there may be 5 to 15 different layers that all have different kinds of environments and different kind of purposes. And we'll be on that craft, on the mothership, until Earth has been cleansed. If you can imagine moving out of your house when you're going to do a total remodel on your house, how messy it is. And so it's better just to get out of the place and let them fix it. And that's what's going to happen on the planet. When this is not an easy two-dimensional story to tell. When the planet is remodeled, cleansed, it doesn't sound all that bad, except all of the wonders that we value now, the Machu Picchu's, the pyramids, the everything will be gone forever. They're just gone. So we come back to a planet that's very pristine as it was in the beginning. When we're on these ships, time is not consistent when you're off the planet. And so time will evolve in a very different kind of way. So when instead of evolving year by year, it'll be much different than that. And pretty much we'll be put into suspended animation for a period of time while this is going on. And then when we're reseated, we won't be coming back to the planet as we left it. We will have evolved. And so the physical body that we enjoy now will have evolved into sort of a spiritual body. So the physical body is literally what we'll be losing on this planet. And that's the biggest crisis of all. The people who won't be able to be beamed up because of vibration or other reasons, and there'll be light workers who stay behind to help them, will simply transition to another planet, another experience, and that, we have a completely terrible definition of death. It's really a very pleasant, wonderful, loving experience. It's recess. This is the hard part. Dying is the easy part. And so those who die on the planet will just evolve into their next experience and go on. And those who are on board ship will be on board ship until they're brought back. So that's the worst case that happens. Is that the story you want told?
Yeah. And by the way, they're not planes or crafts or space craft, right?
Yeah.
Um,
And lo and behold, our government is now saying they exist. Woo! It's like, you think?
what
Okay, Josie.
Um, I wanted to ask, did you know anything about the children, like of the lesser lights? Because they don't really have anything to do with, I heard, because they're coming in and they don't have anything to do with what's going on, as part of this, what's going on. The, like, how the light workers are here to help the planet, but these fresh, like newborn babies, they aren't here for that. So
Well, we don't know that. I mean, again, everybody's life is very different, and the purpose for each person's life is very different. So nobody can say what someone else's life is about. Light workers in general, which is something that I've been talking to, are here to help evolve the planet. They're here to generate light and love. They're here to be a little beacon of energy that will help transform the planet. But and I am told that, and I'll try to say this humbly, as smart and as intelligent and as capable and as connected as I am, that I can't possibly understand the process. And that's what I've been told. And that I'm just cracking the door so everybody else can walk in. But each generation will come in with more information and will take us farther. We're now just beginning to understand that, our toe in the ocean of information of how the universe works, how the world works. But it's so much more complex. Again, I've been shown how parallel lives work, but I couldn't possibly even describe it, because it's not like you're living this and then you're living this. There was a TV show that kind of showed it in a bizarre way, but this guy, every time he went to sleep, he woke up in a whole other body with a whole other experience. And then Quantum Leap was a movie that showed him jumping into different experiences. That's more like reality than what we'd like to admit. For me, it was like if I blinked my eyes, I was in another world doing completely different. And then when I blinked my eyes again, I was in a different world. They were all happening simultaneously, and the little blip of a second was what changed you into all these worlds. But because of our consciousness, we keep them separate, and we tend to put them in some kind of a way that we understand it, which is a linear model. But it's not the way it works at all. As we keep awakening, and we have children that come in, they will take the story a bit further. If you can imagine when Jesus was talking and saying, in my Father's home there are many mansions. Well, that has a different connotation now with today's understanding than it did back then in their connotation. The children coming in are going to have much more information for the pieces of the puzzle, and listening to the kids is the greatest thing we can do. But it's going to sound crazy to us. I mean, I listen to some people now and think either they've got a really advanced story or they're crazy, and I'm not sure which it is. And even with the things that I'm given, it's like, oh, this sounds really crazy. But our story, our consciousness, our mind keeps being able to handle a little more, and a little more, and a little more. Yes, Stacy?
So Mayford has a question.
Good, thank you, Mayford. We really like your question. Go ahead.
If we do change to 5D without leaving the planet, will our body change?
Our body's changing now.
Our body.
I mean, look at what we're doing right now. As we move into this energy, our bodies are getting stronger and healthier, and they're aging less. We're going to live longer. So yes, our body will change. It won't turn into this green scaly thing. It won't be different than what it is now, but we're already changing it. We're already doing things to make it different.
And I believe you also talked about before that we're going to probably be going to less food and more water. More
well, I think it's important that people listen to their body and do what their body wants. As you create a better relationship with your body will dictate what you eat, when you eat, how much you sleep, how long you sleep. And because we've been programmed that we have to have 8 hours of sleep at night, and we have to eat 3 times a day, and we have to eat this and this and this and this. And I can tell you, especially when I first began my journey and purifying my body, I would eat. One point, I didn't eat anything at all for 2 weeks, nothing. Then I would eat like popcorn for a week, just popcorn, no anything else, just popcorn. And then there was a period where I ate avocado and sprouts. You know, I mean, it was nothing that anybody would say was a healthy diet or well balanced diet, but it was what my body wanted, and I felt great. So, even now, I'm down now. I eat one meal a day. I eat a protein drink, and then I have one meal a day, and that's pretty much what I live on. If I'm hungry, I'll eat more. But if I'm not hungry, then that's what my body's asking for. And so you've got to become really more connected to your body. Use your magic cell phone and call your body to see what it needs or wants, because we have a relationship with this physical structure. We've used the same physical structure in every life experience we've had. It's a reformation of every body that we've ever experienced. It just looks different today than it did, in another experience. And the more you treat it kindly, the more you love it, the more you meet its needs, the happier it is. And your body will hold on to any unresolved emotional issues. When you have a lot of toxic thoughts, your body will hold that toxicity, and you will need to clear that energy. And so your body is very special, and it will change, but not in the wake up from a nightmare and you've got 3 heads and 2 arms kind of change. It won't look a whole lot different if we just transform. It'll just feel a lot different. It'll function a lot different. Does that fill the question, Stacy?
So for now, what about the change of being base carbon? I don't know if it's a typo, to Silas.
Again, I don't know. I've not been given any of information about that from my sources. So for me, it's like not important. I'm given what I need, what is important, and sometimes when I ask for it. Sometimes when I ask for things, they'll just say it's not important or that it's not your business. I get it's not your business a lot. So I just have to trust that it's not relevant to my journey at this moment in time.
Well, and I think also we've talked a lot about body changes on a bunch of different calls too, and there's definitely shifts happening in your body. I know my body, different, like 15, 20 years ago, I felt like a lot of chest pain. And if I was having a heart attack, I think you had the same stuff, but they say that your heart is becoming more center, and there's different things that can happen to different people at different points. And I think, like you said, it's really important to just tap in to your body and ask your body. It is my truth that if you really want to also excel in your spiritual journey, to eat more of a plant-based diet. It's my truth.
Well, yeah, I was told that much of the meat on our planet has been polluted vibrationally because of the way we treat our meat. That when the Native Americans went out hunting for buffalo, for instance, they would come across a herd of buffalo and sit down and wait, and they would pray to the herd and say, will you sacrifice yourself for the good of the tribe? And they would wait until the herd moved away and one buffalo was left. They knew that was the buffalo that was sacrificing itself for the good of their people. And then they would shoot it. They would say prayers of gratitude. They would be, do all these things very sacred on this buffalo before they took it back. And they would use every part of the buffalo for the good of the tribe. Very different than the way we treat our food now, where we abuse them, we kill them in front of the others, we take their calves away and destroy them in their presence. I mean, the stuff that we do to the animals that we consume in our body, all of that shock, that horror that the chemicals that we feed them go into their body. So there is no meat that, in my opinion, is vibrationally pure enough that you can consume. When I'm in the grocery store, I'm going down blessing all the meat in the stores, but vibrationally, the more sensitive you are to it, the more you can feel how that stuff affects you. And I do find that many people, as they move through their journey of spiritual ascension, not only are they giving up their addictions, but they also are giving up meat and eating and growing their own food even, and going more organic and more natural and whatnot. But again, trust your body, and the more you can bless your food before you consume it, the better off you are. If I eat meat now, I literally get totally physically ill, and I'm throwing up and having a terror. It's like a hardcore flu for 24 hours because it's so out of alignment with my body. But trust your body. If it doesn't bother you to eat meat, just bless it and continue on till it does. And you'll know when you can't have it anymore.
I'm never having hot dogs again.
Again, everybody's on their own time frame.
Yeah, and they have good veggie dogs. I just turned
Okay.
all some friends to veggie dogs. Like, this isn't meat. This is so good, and it feels so good in your body afterwards. I'm like, that's it. That's the key. It feels good in your body afterwards. Like,
Right.
I took my mom to my favorite. They have, of course, I'm in LA, so they have amazing organic vegan restaurants. Wazoo. And there's this one that's my favorite, and they have a vegan chicken, and it's all organic, and it's like a taco Mexican place, and it's so
Still processed.
It's still processed, of course, but it still feels different in your body, and to me, it's like, oh, I love it. Like, it feels different when you're full on that food versus full. Like when I was in Indiana, we went to Chili's, and my stomach was mad at me for a day. I just hard. But
yay,
it's very exciting. Yeah. Does anybody else have any questions? I think we got those questions.
not only questions, but also comments. I mean, there's things that have been going on with you all week. Anybody want to share anything?
I'll share one thing because I just feel like I've been processing so much. Is obviously it's nice to have mom help be here to assist in all that. Because I definitely feel like I'm at the highest stress place of my entire life. But I also feel that to let go and let God, to go in, to trust, like go into the core beliefs. Like, do I believe that the universe has my back? Do I believe that this is for my greatest good? I have to kind of go back into that, trusting and to restating your beliefs and to re-going into that. For me, was also a big thing that helped me or assists me when I am in those places of, why is this happening?
Yeah, it's been an interesting journey. So, and there are no accidents. So as strange things are happening to you, just trust, what are you to learn from this, and keep going.
Alicia, you want to say anything? Elle?
Not real. I just agree with Jennifer. I've been frustrated all week, and I have to start sorting things out.
Well, keep asking yourself, is this mine? Because as we get this 5G, which is intentionally aligned with your body, they can send thoughts out so that you feel frustrated. You feel these things that aren't really even yours. So the more you can get to know what your thoughts feel like, the more you'll recognize when something isn't yours, but being intentionally directed to you. It's easy for me when I was Stacy and she hits one of her high notes, we'll say, and I can very clearly know this isn't mine. But as I'm here in California, there's all kinds of things being sent that I know are not mine. They're not my thoughts, but I'm being impacted by it. And if it's going on this strongly here, I'm sure it's happening other places as well. And so just be real clear. Is this my frustration, or is this being gifted to me? And if it is, return to sender. Just send it back. But I can tell you that a lot of things are being manipulated right now. A lot of things.
Yeah, some of them I know are mine. And it's a matter of deciding whether or not I want to let go of them.
See, and that's an opportunity.
Yes.
So you say, okay, it's my frustration. What is it that's frustrating me? Where is this coming from? Get to the core essence, and then and I say this with love, but total truth. Is this worth dying for? Stress kills. 100
Right.
years ago, people died of typhoid and diseases and all kinds of things. Now we die from stress-related stuff. So when you're in an experience that's giving you a lot of stress, look at it and literally say, is this worth dying for? And if it's not, then bless it, neutralize it, and you could write a note to it. There's all kinds of ways. There's no limit to what you can do with it, but you have to first decide. That's the important thing.
That's where I am, deciding.
Well, and then that's a good thing too, is like put it to your team and ask your angels, like, okay, can you help make this clear? Ask your higher self, like, will you help show me an answer? Or I want to go to bed and I want to be able to wake up knowing what is going to best serve me. And then I want to choose my highest timeline. So what does that look like? Show me, guide me, help me. And that's what I do a lot, just to get through it, because it's yeah. And I'm having to choose, like, get rid of everything. And it's like, there's a part of me that's just like, I like want certain things. And then it's like, I don't even want to think about it. And there's part of me like, but I love my stuff. Like, I have a story. Like, I picked that up in the market in Egypt. Like, I don't want to let those things go, you know, but then it's like,
right.
It's a lot. Yeah. And I'm glad you're sharing too. And it makes me like, I'm not alone. I think that's where I feel like a lot of times is like, am I the only one that's going through this right now?
No, gosh, no.
No, not at all.
Yeah. I was feeling kind of rotten, and I was like, man, who's doing this to me? You know, because I knew it wasn't mine, you know, and I was like, and then today I kind of started off like just like I was dropping things, or you know, I couldn't find things, and so I was asking my angels to, you know, smooth the day out for me, and it wasn't getting any better. So I was like, are you guys listening to me, you know? And this afternoon was a lot better than the morning, so I like that. But this morning was, yeah, not good. So, because it even it's not like me to drop like a coffee cup and, you know, certain things like that, and that happens. Like, yeah. So.
Well, it's a test. So just imagine stopping and breathing, and it's like doing the dishes. You know, clear it out before you continue on in your day. But you really need to take and pause and experience it, and then release it in whatever way feels right for you. But if you're in the movement and you're in that energy, and then you're saying fix it, fix it, fix it, and then but you haven't left a space, if you haven't taken the time to do the dishes, then it's going to continue being that same kind of mess. If you ask for help, you got to stop, breathe, and allow.
Okay.
And also we have Mayfer, that she said she's also been through a lot, and then her dad passed away on the 24th. So I want to send our condolences and loads of love to you, Mayfer, and your family. And I'm sorry. I know that pain because my papa passed as well. So.
And it's only pain because you're still seeing your loss rather than their opportunity. You know, again, when someone dies, it means they're graduated. They've finished their lessons on this planet. The more horrendous their death experience, it's the easier it is on you. So someone who's had a long lingering death before they transition, it's because they wanted to make it easier on the people they left behind, and usually is symptomatic of a very mature soul. So instead of thinking of your loss, think about his gain. He's now free. He's now experiencing whatever he wants to experience. He's living in another dimension that's pure love. That's pure love and pure creation. And so as you think on him, instead of thinking of what you've given up, thinking what he's gained. And as you think on that energy, you'll feel that love come through. And oftentimes they'll come to you in a dream state and stuff and say, I'm fine, I'm fine. Because as the more heaviness that you have when you think on them, the more that energy you take and share with them. So you don't want to give that energy to him. You want to take that love energy he has into your world. Dying is fun. It's easy. It's great. We just put such heavy connotation to it. Again, I was taken into the death experience, and I've gone with a few people through their death experience. But it's just, if you can imagine, just pure love. Take the highest love vibration you've ever experienced on this planet times 100, and it's just ecstasy. It's just euphoria. And so the more you can celebrate and be happy for them, the easier it is for them and for yourself. When you're mourning, when you're feeling bad about their loss, it's like you put your hand in a bucket of sand, and when you bring your hand out, the space doesn't last. The sand fills in the space. And that's what happens when someone leaves your life. Your life will fill it in. It's when you're resisting it and saying, no, 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 I want him alive. That's where your pain comes in. That's where your grief comes in. So don't grieve, celebrate.
And you have to go through that life review before that, right?
Yeah. No, not before that. No, there's probably 4 or 5 other steps that they do before they do the life review. But once they die, they usually stay in the neighborhood of their body until the body is finalized, whether it's cremated and spread or buried or whatever. They stay around the body to sort of see what's going to go on with their physical structure. And then depending on their life circumstances, they will do various things. Sometimes they go around and visit everybody and say goodbye, and there's all kinds of things they do. But when they're finished with their earthy experience and said, okay, that's done, then they go into a life review process. No one judges you except you. And if you're hard on yourself in the physical world, you're going to be harder on yourself in the spiritual world. And the life review, again, I was taken to the life review. I experienced it, but it's a very hard thing to explain. I do my best in exploring, but you literally experience all of your life from beginning to end, and you experience the ripple that you generated with each experience. So if I got angry and yelled at my husband, and my husband got angry and kicked the dog, and the dog got angry and bit one of the kids, I'm going to experience all of that as part of the consequences of my action. So you experience your life, but you experience the ramifications of your life, and in all directions simultaneously. It's not sequential. And so then after you experience all of that, then the next phase is, what do you want to do next? And if you beat yourself up, then you'll say, oh, I got to go back and do, pay for doing this horrible thing, or I've got to go back and experience that. But you decide that. There's no other source that determines what you have to do. And life on earth is a privilege. It is never a punishment. But if you had an experience, for instance, as I've said with my life, I killed someone. I was killed, and I judged them very harshly. So I went back and killed someone so I can understand from both sides. And that's the balancing. Okay, did that, not in this lifetime, in other lifetime. I am not a murderer in this lifetime, but I have murdered. And so if you have something that you've done that you either want to experience again or think, I can do this better, and let me do it again. Let me do it again. I can improve my score. And think in terms of people taking tests where it was good enough, but they'll say, oh, I can do better than that. I want to do it again. I want to do it again. And that's sort of what life on earth can do. Or in the Josie, I'm thinking of you jumping out of a plane saying, oh, that was really fun. Let me do it again. And so you will give yourself repeats. So anyway, but death is fun. Death is easy breezy. The more you prepare for it, the easier it is. And you just surrender to the experience. Anybody else have anything? Hi, Claudia. Welcome to the place.
But if you think you can do better, I mean, you can decide still not to come back, right? I mean,
correct. And there's all kinds of different existences. So you can want to do better, but you're going to do just focusing on this on another planet. For instance, there's a planet where you just work on unconditional love. That's all you work on. Earth is unique in that you have all these different lessons coming simultaneously based on your thoughts. You're creating every aspect of your life as you're living it, which is exceedingly complicated. So this planet is one that you come to when you really mastered many other lessons, and then based on what you want to do. But there's planets where you just work on discernment. There's planets that you just work on love. There's planets where you just work on a single attribute. Okay. Earth is the experience it is because it's a very complicated, advanced opportunity to growth. Yes,
okay.
Stacy.
We have a question.
Okay.
Technically, can you experience two relationships and breakups that are closely similar due to repeat the same lesson, or to feel the energy, like partners' energy and embodiment is similar to the last?
Well, yes, you can do anything. I mean, this is unlimited choices. And so you can have a relationship, break it up and think, you know, I could have been kinder in that experience. I'm going to do it again, and I'm going to do it better. And so you can go through the same kind of a relationship and the same kind of breakup, but you handle it better. And that's, you know, a way that we measure our own growth. Or you can go through a relationship where you've been a real jerk, and then the higher part of you says, let's go do that one again, so you can see how jerky you were. And you may not have seen how jerky you were the first time, but you recognize the second time that you could have done that better, been kinder, sweeter, whatever. I have often had very bad breakups. So in this lifetime, one of my major life lessons is how to end relationships. So, you know, not the perfect lesson that I would have chosen, but being able to end a relationship is just as important as being able to begin them. And so, you know, if you look at the patterns in your life, and you will see that pattern is often those major lessons that you have come to explore. And again, it's never a punishment, it's just an experience. And so look at your patterns.
I think I have to, I think that's one of the lessons I came here for. I mean, because I have trouble with, yes, like breaking up with somebody and that type of thing.
Yeah. Well, could easily be. You know, if you can't let go, if you hold on, if you're shoot and kill them, you know, different things. It's like, those are not good ways to break up. And sometimes you don't want to break up, so you just hold on, you hold on, you hold on. And that's not healthy either. So we go through it again and again and again, and we'll give ourselves rehearsals during our dream state so that we can come back and do it again. And okay, you got another chance tomorrow. The movie Groundhog Day, where the character repeats the same day over and over again until he finally gets it, and then he moves on. That's a very good example of what our life can be like, and often is, which we just label deja vu. You know? So
Oh, so when we label deja vu, it's us just repeating something that we've done it before, but repeating it better?
can be. It doesn't, there's no one size fits all in the universe. There's a zillion different reasons why different things happen, but that's one of the many reasons we can experience deja vus, because we literally rehearsed it, we practiced it, and then we come in, and especially important moments where there's either an important lesson you're teaching or you're learning, you will practice it. And then when it happens, it's like you go into automatic. I know exactly what to do. Even though you may never have encountered that before. So, yeah. Life on Earth is fascinating. It really is. The more you can be open to the magic of it, the more fun it gets. What happens is we get, connected, and we hold on, and we blame, and we become victims, and all those things, and we loses the fun. But think about going to a carnival and getting on a roller coaster and being scared to death, and all the ups and downs and all that stuff. We do that for fun. Well, magnify that times our life, and we've come here for fun and entertainment. We just forget.
I had somebody say to me, well, it's not going to happen in this lifetime with you again. And I was like, well, I don't want it to happen again in another lifetime. So, this is it. Goodbye.
Well, and that's really important that you recognize the more you resist it, the more you're putting that into pattern. Better to sit and okay, the exercise I do is just literally just sit and bring in that relationship and do my best to recount all the aspects of that relationship or that experience, and then learn as much as I can, get the lessons, because it won't stop until you've got the lessons. So I literally look at all the things I learned from that experience or that person, and then I imagine them sitting in a chair opposite me, and then I will ask them, I thank them for the experience, and what you would like to say to me and what I would like to say to you, so I can bring closure to it. And then I imagine severing the ties that are tying us together. The karmic ties are very real. And so then I imagine severing those karmic ties so that only love exists. And they can be free to move on to their next experience. And then I can be free to move on to my experience. But when I've had some experiences in my life that were not fun, that I would not want to move through again, I don't know whether it's my screw up from another lifetime that's brought this into reality, or their screw up that they're going to have to do penance in another lifetime. But my goal is to move through the experience with dignity and grace, so my side is finished. And if they have to go through it again, so be it. And if I caused this from another past life, then bless it and release it and let it go. But it's really your action, and you don't know ever. I shouldn't say ever. Mostly you don't know whether or not this is the cause or the effect. And if they've agreed to play with you in your game, or you've agreed to play with them in their game, your goal is just to move through it so that it doesn't ever happen again. Dignity and grace.
That's not
I just hope I don't say, okay, I'll do it again, because I don't want to. But
well, just
me,
just learn the lesson so you don't need to. Yeah,
Yeah.
learn the lesson so you don't need to. That's
yeah,
the
I've
goal.
learned the lesson, believe me.
You never know what those little stinky little lessons are, because they could be tricky little things. Jennifer, you look like you wanted to raise your hand.
Yeah, just quick, when you were saying, I watched a video today and it was just about what you were saying. So now it got me really thinking, because now I heard it twice, is that
Oh, big sign, big sign.
yes, is it your thought? Because he was saying 85% of, well, your emotions, your feelings might not be yours. So always ask. So that was that stuck out tonight a lot. And
Yeah.
the other thing with Alicia is with some of the lesser lies or a family, it's going in my mind like I was raised with these people and calling them cousins and told to love them, and now I'm like, do I really love them? Like these thoughts are kind of going through my head.
Well, first of all, there's differences in love. There's unconditional love. And I found a research paper I wrote when I was a senior in high school on the 4 kinds of love, which I'm thinking, holy cow, this is really profound for a senior in high school. But there's unconditional love. That's what we're sending out to all these beings. It's unconditional acceptance. We're just sending out a vibrational kiss to everybody. No screening. That's one thing. Another is a love kind that you would feel for family members that are very special to you. You're not obligated to give anybody any kind of love except unconditional. That we give to everybody, universal, no matter what. But I was a foster parent for teenagers, and their parents, in many cases, were very unhealthy, and they don't deserve love. That child should not feel in any way obligated to return that love to that parent who so badly abused them or took advantage of them or hurt them in so many different ways. And so I've got written, but I haven't gotten out, but I do a lot of interviews during Father's Day and Mother's Day. What to do on Mother's Day when your mother doesn't deserve your love. You are not obligated to love someone because they're a family member. If they don't feel good, you can take them out. And not physically take them out, but just, emotionally erase them. You don't have to spend time with anybody if it doesn't serve you or serve them. There's no obligation for a relationship ever. Karmic debt will pull you to certain people for certain experiences, but as soon as you get the lesson, you can erase that. You can move away. You don't have to stay tied to that experience. Once upon a time, we would be married to someone for an entire lifetime. Now, because lessons are coming so very quickly, relationships aren't about successes or failures. A divorce is not a failure. A relationship is a speed up of your learning. You're literally seeing yourself much faster, whether it's a family member, whether it's a romantic relationship or some other way. It's about speeding up your lessons. I've watched Stacy go through a lot of stuff in the last few days, the last week or so. I'm learning through her, but there's no obligation for me to experience that with her. I could leave, and that would be okay too, because I have free will. And so whenever you're in a relationship of any kind with someone, it should be because you there because of free will, not because of obligation, not because of relationships or birthright or whatever. It's, does this experience serve you? And if it doesn't, if someone, for instance, with my foster kids, if their families are abusing them, you do not have to keep them in your life. In fact, it would be silly to do that. But unconditional love, that's why we're here. It's a vibrational fire hose that we're sending out to everything that transforms everything. So I can unconditionally love my stepmother if I had one. I don't have a stepmother. But I can unconditionally love my stepmother, but I don't have to have her in my life, if that makes sense.
Thank you.
Ah, look.
So, Mom, what are the other 3 types of love?
I was a senior in high school, I forget. There's unconditional. There was familiar, romantic, and one sort of like to a cause, like I can love this country or feel very patriotic toward it, but it was the 4th kind, was like unto some cause. But unconditional one is the power that we have all come to play in. And then romantic love, obviously, is for fun.
Josie asked a question, but Josie, I don't know if you sent that to me privately.
Oh, I didn't change it back. Yeah.
Oh,
I meant to send it out to,
You can ask mom yourself.
okay.
Better if you
yeah.
ask versus if I ask.
I put in there question mark, sprinkles. Because it's been a long time. It's been over a month since we had any.
all right.
But I know you're not at home and stuff
Sprinkle.
like that.
Well, that just taps into the energy. Okay, sprinkles. For those who want it, put your hand up electronically or otherwise, but I'm going to assume that you all want it. And then for the people who are on Instagram or YouTube, you have to be on a Zoom call to get a sprinkle. Sprinkles are little energetic readings. So okay, Josie, I'm going to start with you. Your mind is really jumbled, so get clear. And then because they're so okay, okay, you don't.
Okay.
So when I do the energy, I tap into your energy. I then read whatever I'm getting, and so the more you have a question or an area, the more focused I can be. Because literally in your energy field is everything, and you might want to hear everything, but I don't have time to do everything.
Okay, well, how about if you tell me just what is coming to you? Like the main thing, other than jumble.
Well, you need to be very mindful of when your energy is, it's almost like circular. It goes in circles, like a cyclone kind of thing. And when it's still, and that's what your big lesson you're going through right now is just learning how to still your mind so that you can be at peace with whatever's happening. When you're in the cyclone energy, it's, well, this happened, well, that happened. What's going on? Why is this happening? And so you're thinking of all these questions and you keep your mind stirred up and you're creating, because your mind is the creator force. The mind is the act of manifesting. Your mind is creating this chaos. So you want to be able to keep it still. So I'm going to go into your mind right now and play with that energy. You've been pulling up a lot of energy from past lives. I don't know what kind of issues you've been playing with, but you're literally digging deeper and deeper into your energy of old unresolved issues, which is positive. It won't make sense because, where'd you go? Okay. It won't necessarily make sense of where it's coming from because it's going to seem like out of the blue, but it's like you're going deeper into these old issues and getting clear, and going deeper and deeper. If we think in terms of having a surface wound that we heal versus a bullet that's embedded, we have to go in and dig out. And you're in there digging out some deeper, more buried things, which is very positive. Trust it. You're very much in a healing mode, but you've got lots of old wounds that has to be identified, blessed, released.
Sounds good.
I don't know if you have a jar of like I have all these little oils and motions and potions and stuff I get from the kids that are pretty little glass jars at salves and stuff that come in. And so if you do get some and put some lotion or whatever in it, like lotion or coconut oil or something rather, and then imagine packing it full of healing energy, the love of the universe energy, the depth of healing, and then use that. But when you're using it, it's not just the physical lotion, it's really the energetic penetration going deep into those areas and just feel your body, because all those wounds that we carry are associated with some part of our body. So be aware, and that will help you move through these things faster. But don't resist it. You're doing a great job. Just continue to allow it. Okay.
Thank you. I love that. Thank you. It's great.
And if you don't have a little lovely little empty jar, let me know. I got tons.
Okay.
Okay. Jennifer
Thanks so
C., are you ready? Jennifer C., are you ready?
Yes. Hi, I'm
Okay.
Jennifer. And
Okay.
so I made the move an hour and a half from where I grew up my entire life. So now what?
Now what? All right. As you were in the beginning, so you will be. When you went back, you actually went back to go forward. There's things that, oh, I'm getting chills. There's things that you dropped along the way. We were talking about missing pieces. There's places that you lost yourself along your journey. You've gone back to start again and recapture those. So just trust the process. Your spirit is very much guiding you right now. I mean, not this moment, but through this experience. So just trust it. You're going to be reconnecting with old people, old experiences, old places. And energetically, it's like almost you're on a scavenger hunt to find the pieces of you that you lost over time. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so as you're going back, recognize that it's actually going forward, but you're picking up the things that you dropped along the way. Gentleness, awareness, just be open to that, because you're going to be changing a lot in the process. And as you said, you're drawn to the water, and just keep giving yourself those experiences, because it's very powerful. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Claudia, I saw your hand go up earlier. Okay. Just if you'll say your name, and then if you have a question or an area, then speak up.
Well, first we gotta unmute her so we can hear
Oh,
her.
well, okay, unmute her. Claudia, you're muted. You have to unmute yourself. Oh, she's unmuted now. Okay.
So my name's Claudia Fernandez, and yeah, I'm so curious about the partnership aspect of my life.
I don't know about your relationship. So if I say something that I find offensive, then I'm probably stepping on the right toes. But you haven't done a great job of selecting relationships in your life. You choose poorly, if that makes sense. And so this is a moment where you're learning, and a moment is a period of time, not actually a physical moment, but this is a period of time where you're learning to get really clear on what you want and what you will accept and what you won't tolerate. Boundaries have not been one of your strong points either. And so what happens is when you get in a relationship, you sort of mutate into being that relationship, that person. And so that doesn't serve you. It doesn't serve what you came to do. So now you're learning how to be fully you. So as you enter in and choose a wiser, healthier relationship, you don't lose you. Does that make sense? And I would journal, what you'd like in your perfect partner, what you are willing and what you're not willing to do in this perfect relationship. Begin to get it really clear so that it's healthy from the get-go, and that you recognize it from the get-go, that you're not selecting, as an example, this is not you, but just an example. you know, some people choose someone who's tall, dark, and handsome as their perfect partner, which are nice, but their perfect partner may be somebody that's totally different than that. And if they're not paying attention with their heart, they'll miss the perfect partner and select from their eyes. And that's the wrong place to choose. So you need to start, I'm getting chills again. You need to start using your heart to scan when you're with potential partners. Literally use your heart to scan your options and feel with them with the heart, and you'll choose differently. Even dating will be different when you start selecting from your heart rather than from your eyes or from your mind or from other parts that, you know, do not necessarily serve the best relationship. If you will do that for the next 6 weeks, you will develop the skills that will allow you to really identify the perfect partner. Because right now, if the universe brought him, I assume it's a him, to you, you would not recognize him. So I don't know what prototype you've been selecting from, but it's not the one that universe has in mind for you. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't had a relationship in a long time. I mean, I had one almost 2 years ago, and I had to let that go because it was a bad choice. And
You're good at bad choices. You need to
I
look and say,
realized
what were the choices you made that did not serve you, and how did you make them so you stop that pattern? That's a pattern, and it's not just a pattern from this lifetime, it's a pattern from other lifetimes as well. You need to recognize, analyze, and disconnect it very intentionally from that pattern and start using that heart to scan, to connect with others and feel them. And as you do that, you'll even begin to feel your perfect partner out there in the ethers as you begin to bring him closer to you. But if he showed up now, you're not ready. So don't rush it. You have to develop.
And I think that's a huge thing as a reminder. It's like the vibrational match. It's not pretty to your eyes. It's your energetic fields. So it's, yeah, it's not.
Well, it can be pretty to your eyes too, but it's just that's not the best
like
means of selecting.
You want to laugh around them. Do you want to? But to me, there's a lot of women. They're like, that has to be at least 6 foot. They have to have this. They have to have that. It's like, those aren't the things that actually make or break a relationship. It's how do they make you feel? How do they show up for you? How do they, so like, how do you want to feel around them? How do you, it's kind of go in, like start asking those questions. I think journaling with all of that.
Well, and everything teaches us something. So even selecting the wrong person teaches us something. And so that's okay too. Just being okay with however you do it, but is that a pattern you want to continue? Is that a pattern that you want to replicate in the now? So,
and I can relate to you because I had a picker that was a little off for me as well in the past. Yeah.
Okay. All right, Miss Alicia, would you like to play?
Sure. I mean, if there's other, yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to do everybody that's here because I don't, so that wants one. All right, do you have a question or comment or area?
Just the area of being stuck right now.
All right. First of all, you're not stuck. You're moving through lots of things at warp speed. You have been incredibly mental. I mean, that's your gift. That's what you pride yourself on. That's what other people recognize you. You're very, very mental. You're also now in the transition of being heart-centered. And that transition is where you're saying, I'm stuck, because you're not here nor there. You're sort of playing back and forth between the two. And that's really, really powerful. because you're beginning to loosen up your mind so that your heart can speak up and guide. And your heart is sort of the mouthpiece for your soul spirit. And so that's really important. And as you give up some of that mental pragmatic position that you've been on in most of your life, you're seeing things differently. And that isn't as easy for you as it would be for someone else because you've been so mental. But recognize not only is it positive, it's causing you to grow. But because you're usually measuring your growth through your mental, you don't have a yardstick to measure your growth. Does that make sense?
Yes, it
And
does.
so as you become more soft, more accepting, more open, that's huge. And that's your soul is going, yay. But the old you is going, yes, but, yes, but, yes, but. So just what you can do for yourself right now is just be at peace that everything is divinely perfect. You have allowed a lot of spiritual guidance into your life. That hasn't been easy for you, but you're allowing it now. You're being a bit more open to it. You're being a bit more adept at hearing it, feeling that impulse. Because spirit talks to us in the impulse, and so that's really powerful. But you are changing much, 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 much faster than you're giving yourself credit for. So I'm going to say congratulations. You're not stuck.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Makes sense.
But congratulations. Okay, and then Elle, you want to
Hi.
play?
Yes, I'd love to
Oh,
play.
okay. Would you mind showing us your face when we
Oh,
do this? I like
yeah.
feeling your energy with your face because I look at that and I want a cupcake. It's a cupcake to me. Oh, okay. She's dark. All right.
Can you see me? Oh,
Yeah,
I'll take-
it's only a little bit because you're got a very dark screen, but it's okay. Oh, there she is. There she is. Okay. Now, say your name and then whatever question or issue.
Laura, I've been feeling really good, so I want to keep on this. My intention is to keep on this plane
There you go.
for sure.
And when you popped in your energy, both of my palms started zinging. So not only are you feeling really good, but you're shooting out energy at a much, much more intense level. Because I've never had that with anybody before. Just the energy just causes my palms to zing. So it can't stop unless you stop it. It's
Right.
You're in full charge. Just keep turning up the volume, and
Yeah.
it will be there. And if you feel a bump, the sleeping policeman, as they call it, that's not backsliding. That's an opportunity. So
Yep.
pay attention to how you get over it, how you're affected by it. So don't let the little life irritations be seen as backsliding.
Yep.
So good, doing great.
Thank you.
Anything else?
I have a job interview next week. And I have I made a really good connection with the person that I would, working for. And so much so that it was a connection that is the second time that I felt that with a work situation in my entire life. So it was very powerful, very good. I have a good feeling, but wanted to throw it out there and ask you about it.
All right. First of all, no buts.
Okay.
Have a great feeling, period. Is it in person or online?
Online.
Okay. I would do as much spiritual preparation for it as you do mental at rehearsing the questions or choosing your outfit and your background and that stuff. And I'm sure you investigated all the stuff for online interviewing, but literally call in the angels, let the angels clear the energy of their office so they're open to see your divine potential. Clear your space. the connection between the you. You oftentimes when you're doing an online interview, there's more people in the room. Some you know about, some you don't know about. But make sure that all those people are connected with your energy and love. But do the spiritual preparation as well, so they too get the zings. And
Yeah,
they may not recognize it.
I asked for a list of the names of people so that I could start, you know, feeling that vibration and bring it in together.
I don't know about where you're interviewing, but when I do university interviews, you can go on to their faculty and you can bring up pictures of each one so you see what they look like.
Right.
But for you, however you bring in, even just writing their name out, light a candle, use that energy of the light to send to them, and then see that connection that you're building with each one being very positive for highest and best good. Not only highest and best good for you, but for everyone concerned, so that you know when you step into the job, you're the divine perfect person for that job, and they know you're the divine perfect person for that job. And
Right.
that's really what you want, because you want them to recognize your greatness, and as you recognize the opportunity for greatness that they're giving you. But
Yeah.
do energetically. Piece of cake. You'll get it.
Thank you.
If you
Thank
want
you.
it, you'll get it.
Yep. Thank you.
Good luck. I look forward to hearing the outcome. Thank you.
Thanks.
Maria.
Mayfair. It's Mayfair.
That's Mayfair. Well, I would never have guessed that. Mayfair. Okay, Mayfair, you were the next online. So can you show me your face?
Yes.
Okay.
One moment.
And I'm doing you in the order that you came on to the call. So Mayfair, there you are. Okay, Mayfair. Now.
My name is Maria Fernanda Alfonso, and I would like to an advice or anything I need to know to keep moving forward right now.
You've actually been very happy this last few weeks, where other people are feeling the intensity. For you, it's like, like corks that you keep being taken to the top, and that's very powerful. So I would say continue allowing yourself to be joyful. There's almost a part of you that's going, why am I so happy? Why do I feel so good? Because we're used to not feeling good on the planet. But instead of that, just be, very grateful that you feel so good. Do you have any corks around you?
Cork.
Cork, like they put in a wine bottle to seal out the air. It floats.
Yeah.
It's a very light. It's a bark out of a tree actually, and it floats. If you can find a cork, get a pretty glass and put it in there. And what will happen is you can't put the cork down. And if you push it under, as soon as you let go, it comes up again. It's always at the top of the world, whatever that world is. And you need to see yourself like that. That no matter what happens, you're always going to rise to the top, your highest form, your biggest and best self, and that the universe has made you that way so that you cannot be kept down. In periods of your life in the past, you have been, I want to say, smothered, held down, held back for various reasons. You're now in a period where you can't be held back. You can't be held down. You're like that cork that's always going to rise to the top. So give yourself a pretty reminder of it, a pretty glass with a little food coloring and the cork that just is always up there, and just remind yourself that you deserve to be on the top. You've earned that right. No one and nothing can keep you down.
Thank you.
And just stay happy, girl. Okay, Jennifer's thinks, you got this, you got this. What's that? Say it again. Yeah. Jennifer was a cheerleader when she was in 8th grade, I think, and she's been teaching us this cheer that I can never remember the word. So would you do it?
It's we got it together, baby, do we ever. We got it together, baby, do we ever.
So that's your cheer.
Yeah.
And I think it's good for everybody. Just remind yourself, you got this. You got this. Okay, Gabriel, I think you're the next one. So if you would like to say your name, first of all, you need to unmute yourself, say your name, and then ask your question or.
Hi, I'm Gabriel. I don't necessarily have a question. I was just curious about the sprinkle.
Well, you got to give me something to go on. So a question, an area, because your energy has everything in there, and it's unlimited. So help me narrow the field.
Maybe relationship.
Okay, are you in a relationship now?
No.
There, okay. This may or may not make sense. It's what I'm picking up, so I'm going to trust it. You can tell me whether or not it's right or not. But there's a part of you that doesn't want a relationship. You like being in charge, and when there's a relationship, you have to sort of cooperate, collaborate, come down a bit, and that's difficult for you. To find a woman who can come in at your level is going to be very challenging, and you're not willing at this point to come down, and I'm talking energetically, to help her come up. Does that make sense?
A little bit, but I haven't really dated a woman before.
You've not dated a woman before. Does that mean you've dated other genders, or does that mean you don't like dating women, or what does that mean?
I feel a bit more like fluid and pants, a bit more everyone, but I'm a bit more comfortable with men. But I do agree with perhaps I don't want to be in a relationship because being high vibrational, I find maybe I'm compromising too much or trying to change or fit them off.
Right. So take what I said about a relationship as in a feminine, it's to all relationships. Yeah. That you haven't found the perfect partner that is at this level for you. And for you, it's too challenging to come down to their level in order to help them move along. So it's like, not worth the effort. You're very self-contained. You've also been in religious orders many lifetimes. It's why you're so comfortable and so assured of yourself when you're in that spiritual relationship. And in that, there's a lot of programming about celibacy and not being in relationships because it takes away from your relationship with God or divine or whatever you want to call it. And so for you, you might also want to begin to release that belief system that where you give up your relations with other people, and people have taken vows of chastity, vows of poverty, vows of humility, and none of which serves us as a species, but it was part of that conditioning for the religious order. And so you might want to begin to affirm the opposite, allow yourself to recognize those vows don't serve you, and you're going to release anything and everything that no longer serves you, because your perfect partner is out there, and you'll recognize him, her, it when it arrives, whatever words you want to use. But you have to wash away the old belief that somehow finding a partner will lessen your spiritual connection, because you're really very connected and you're very proud of your connection. So you're not willing to do anything that may diminish that.
It has come through before too that I've had, well, I guess all lives are current lives, but a life as a high priest of the triple goddess, and I connect to the moon and Artemis a lot. So I think that sort of that celibacy or like virginity, being independent in your own energy and space and holding that space has come through again and again.
Well, and in your lifetimes as the high priest and the other things, there was a lot of celibacy and there's a lot of sexual bizarreness that was sometimes bred into that in different lifetimes. So you may have to clear out a lot of those false teachings that don't serve you for the here and now. They were part of the experience and bless it, but now it's time to let it go and come into a much clear and open that you can be spiritually aligned and be romantically connected to someone simultaneously. It isn't either or. And there's a part of you that is in that space, which means that you're pushing away potential relationships so that you can have the spiritual relationship that you want.
Mm-hmm.
So do some clearing out. And you have tons of techniques. I don't need to tell you how to do it. You just have to have the intention to do it and begin to open that door of potential.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Love and light. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, Stacy. Stacy, would you like a spirit sprinkle?
You know, Mom, I would be honored to be able to have and receive a sprinkle.
Okay. So just
My
say your name and whatever the question thought is.
Okay, my name is Stacy Harder. And my question is, what or how can I do to move through this experience with grace and ease and on my highest timeline, or what serves me to be able to move through this experience?
Well, you know that one of your big downfalls is holding on emotionally, holding on physically, holding on materialistically, that you have to let go, surrender. And so you've been doing some of that, but the more you can do that, the easier it becomes. And it's just about letting go of the physical stuff, letting go of the emotional stuff, letting go of the expectations, letting go of what you're saying. When you say, I want the highest timeline, that implies that you're not on the highest timeline, which is a holding on belief system that somehow I need to get to a higher level, puts you at a lower level. And so you got to give up that and know that you are on your highest timeline, as you refer to it, that you are on your divine perfect path, and that everything is going perfectly. And even the bumps, the challenges, the problems are part of the evolution of Stacy Harder, and it's all perfect. And when you feel the pain, recognize the resistance to what is, because there's always the resistance. Okay? Okay. All right. Well, it's now 8:31. 2 hours and 31 minutes into this lovely experience. So I think this is a good time to close off. Be aware we're still traveling. California internet has been sucko. We'll be here for next Thursday, we hope. But be mindful, if I'm not here, it's because there's an internet issue. And for the people who I have your emails, we'll send out notices, and we have to also shut the internet off at some point in time. So right now our plan is to be here next Thursday, but if I'm not, if Stacy's not, know that it's the way the universe works. Yes, Stacy Harder.
Well, Esme is our regular on Instagram, and is it too late for her to come on and do a sprinkle?
Yes, 8:31 was the deadline. But Esme, if you come on next time and remind me, I'll give you a sprinkle, even if I don't give everybody else a sprinkle. Okay. All right. Love you all. Thank you, Josie, for reminding me of the sprinkles. Anybody want to say anything to close it up? Any parting thoughts? Anybody
We
wanna-
got it together,
wanna say-
baby.
Super appreciate you. Super
That's right.
appreciate you and Stacy.
And know the universe super appreciates you, and the more love that you send out randomly for no reason at all, the more the earth appreciates you. You don't ever have to have a reason to send out unconditional love. Just let it fly. And tonight was really, really powerful. That cell phone is very real. So that cosmic connection, use it. I'll look forward to hearing how your stories are next week on how it worked for you.
And I do recommend, if you're feeling a bit off, keep your technology like in the other room in a wooden container if you can, and just see if you can feel the shift in your energy. Because I really do think that they're playing with a lot of that technologies right now, and especially in LA. I was glad that Mom feels the same way too, because I've been feeling it for a while, and it's wild. So thank you so much.
And send me love as I start looking for my new property. I found some online, so hopefully on my way back, I'll be able to go through and find it. So, yeah, for sure. All right.
Make
Anybody
sure
else
you
want to say
get
anything?
a bedroom for me.
Make sure you what?
Get a nice bedroom for me.
Oh hell, you're gonna have a tent out in the woods.
I'll clean the house. I'll cook.
Okay,
Yeah.
there you go.
I'll do
Well,
laundry.
Literally, what I see it being is a human sanctuary where people come who want to step out or need to step out of their current environment, and so it will be sort of a interesting experience.
Yeah.
When I get
can't wait.
back, I really want to connect with Alicia so she can help me look. But anyway,
Sounds
love
good.
you all. Have
Okay,
a wonderful
love
week.
you.
Lots of love
Okay,
and light.
thank you.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Stacy. Good night,
Stacy,
Alicia.
Love you. Good night.
Jennifer, Heather.
have a
Good night,
wonderful
all.
week.
And
A
as
wonderful
they,
week.
You too.
you will adopt her.
We'll adopt everybody. All right.
Night. See you.
Start looking for a tent on Facebook, and you can come down and live in my lovely trees. All right.
Good night.
Good night. Well, then I have maid's quarters then. That's all I have to say.
You have made. Oh, well, it depends on what I get.
No, I would go with the live-in maid.
Okay, talk to you soon.
All right. Love and light.
Love you. Okay.
Bless everyone. Have a great night. Thank you for joining, and thank you for dealing with our amazingness on this planet. All right, if you want to reach the replay, you can go on Instagram and or YouTube for Stacy Harder, and you can watch there.
And I did get the conversation already, Stace. So
All right, did you see the message that Josie sent me, but it was supposed to be for you?
no.
I just sent it to you. I said, from Josie. And she said, thanks, Mom. My biologist had surgery yesterday. I promised I would help her at 8:30. So
Okay. All right. Love you all. I'll see you in a minute. We're still live on YouTube.